by the way, spirit boxes, Nathan, have you been listening at all? I know you kind of...
1 year here and there when you're talking, I haven't.
Got it. So have you heard anything else besides the
Yeah, I've been hearing different things.
Anything stand out to you?
Just a second ago, said another one, I think it said.
Okay.
And,
It'll come to you.
yeah.
Okay. All right, you'll be able to unmute once we actually get through the history here, and we'll start to spread out. Which, by the way, everybody, congrats, you made it to a parking lot. So again, I told you I'd take you to weird spots. This place used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space where that car is parked with its lights on and facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across. We are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for those secondary clues. In the event that somebody hears the name Charles, I need somebody else to give me a secondary clue so I know how to address that specific Charles. Does that make sense now? I hope it does. So I'm going to keep going. The son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on and talk about Eliza instead. If I do not give those gentlemen that recognition of signing the Constitution, they will do it for me in a very negative manner through a spirit box, and I try not to piss them off. I hope you guys see my point. Now, the other reason, by the way, that I'm also remember most of your names is every night I come through this location before I meet with you guys to let her know who's coming if I know what the names are. It's just out of respect. I actually gave this space a little bit of a break because I was getting very disrespectful ghost hunters, like, come on, Eliza, let's go, talk to us, and then they go take a leak in the corner. So it was like, again, very nasty messages were coming through, so I kind of gave it a break. So again, I do repeat off your names to Miss Eliza before I meet with you. Back to Eliza. She marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14, when young ladies got married. Which, by the way, communication devices, this is where I start withholding information on purpose so you have a genuine experience. I will not give you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the big red barn over there. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. Moving on. By the way, the husband, the reason why I said all of that about her young age at this time period is because the husband was over double her age. So it was creepy then, it's creepy now. So I'm just going to point that out too. So moving on. She married him because her father is over in England. He thinks he's dying and he's trying to bring all of his children home one last time so he can see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You do not get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, believe it or not. There's nothing horrific about this location, hence why it is a place of respect. Moving forward, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. It is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. That's, some of you are wearing it right now, by the way. That's how we use it today. When she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated, because obviously it's not warm here all the time. She learned how to make the dye, then moved it to a cash crop and got a hold of Dad and told him rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. She was correct, because now we have an international businesswoman during colonial days. It's something absolutely unheard of. That is the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here. So, I'm going to basically go through and give all of the communication devices a set of focus questions. You can either say these things out loud, or you could just focus on them. There's no right or wrong way to do this. She already knows what we're about to ask. Also, keep in mind that we do have 3 cameras running, my voice recorder, and 5 communication devices. So, if you're asking a question, she might get the answer. We never know where it's going to fall. So, they can attest, I always have a minimum of 2 communication devices, even if it's just 2 people on the group. Again, we like to know where it's going to go. So, 2 red spirit boxes. So, Helen and Nathan, the 2 of you are going to have the same set of questions because of the type of spirit box you're using. You're going to focus on Eliza's death. So, 4 major things we get answers to: her age at death, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So those are the 4 majors. Obviously not yes/no questions. If you go rogue, just be respectful. Make sure it's not a yes/no question. With yours, I'm like, Ron. Aha, I almost lost it for a second. So your particular spirit box only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time. The mansion's not here anymore unless you can see it and I can't. You're going to ask what happened to it, and if you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that tragedy occurred. I just gave you a clue that it was indeed a tragedy. Moving on. So, Sandy and CJ, oh, that actually works out perfect. So the 2 of you, I guess I didn't realize I did that. Your devices are going to be working together as well. So I don't know if you remember or not, Sandy, but Stacy, oh my God. The one person I screwed up is somebody I already knew. Stacy. So with yours, Eliza's initials, ELP. You're going to be looking for that in a very specific order of ELP because the L stands for a maiden name because the first wife, also named Eliza, had a maiden name that started with the letter L. Hopefully, that's what you're going to come up with, CJ. So that's what's hopefully going to show up on yours. You also are like the kind of the catch-all. What everybody else is asking, some of the answers often go to you. So again, I just wanted you to have something specific that you guys can work on together. But I am going to keep Stacy behind with me for just a few minutes so I can show her some of the inners of like how to work that guy. Do you have any other numbers on yours, Mark?
It's all over the place. 80.1, 65.7, jumping everywhere.
Wow. That's high.
I was getting 35 to 12 3, just went through.
What was the highest number you saw? 80?
It was 85, 1 or 2,
Okay.
25, 16.1, 14.3, 8, 59.1.
So at this point, give me anything above a 50.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, it seems like it's super high tonight. It was last night too. I don't know why. So, which is weird.
When we got here, it started jumping everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and there's no electricity in here. So
Right,
you
I
should
know.
not be getting those kind of readings at all. Broke it. Red is recording. You'll feel the button, but the right next to it is the wheel.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, that happens often, believe it or not. All right. Suffer. So I'll be writing that one down.
I said, let's have a good time.
Is that what you just heard?
Earlier.
Suffer. All right, so everybody, let's spread out. Stay away from the vehicles. Don't go in between them. Don't go in front or back of them. And I'm going to do a couple of round robins, and then I'll regroup us to give you guys all the answers to see what we actually caught. So, Stacy, not Sandy. Let's see what we got. All right.
All right, so now we're just running around.
I guess so, yeah. I'm not picking anything. Well, there's some like.
There's a little dial below your dot on
Oh, well, no, I'm just getting the people that we're here with. But
This one's been bouncing around my bag for a year. I'm ready to renew it. But
Did you say
anytime
what her
see
name
that,
was?
it means it came from a magnetic
I forgot.
Eliza.
Eliza?
this dot.
So Eliza, where are you buried?
So in the event that you don't see anything in there, it starts to overwrite the letters and you start over.
Eliza, what happened to you?
You're gonna turn it off here, like counterclockwise, and go back to where you are. And then you have a nice fresh clean slate.
oh wait,
So
that's so
obviously the
weird.
initials
Every once in a while, it looks like
don't
there's a person there, and then
words being spelled out in there, where
Let's go
you'll have
here.
like an anagram of Eliza's name or anything.
like look right there in front. Like okay, it's
that's
just
her.
the right of that white car.
You see that?
Watch.
Eliza, are you here?
See?
We
There's
last
nobody
week,
there.
We had about 6.
No, there's nobody
There's
there.
no person there.
None of them had
There's a person over there.
last week we had the word cheese.
Oh, it's grabbing the sign
It's 6 letters.
Oh,
and then
It
going
is,
out
and
from
you
there.
know how this thing works now.
Right.
Yeah, because to cycle this, it would take
is that what it's doing?
5 cycles.
I'm gonna go closer. It is weird. Like, what is it? It's because like it picks up those stairs over there too for some reason.
Eliza, who was at your funeral? Eliza, are you sad? If you're sad, why are you sad? What is that?
What? The fire up there, you mean?
Yeah.
It's like one of those heat lamps, probably, for a rooftop bar or patio.
How do you go there?
Yeah. There's no ghost there. The ghosts are here. Well, maybe there is. Well, dang, I think you're right. I think it was a sign. Bummer.
Eliza, you should come say hi to Lisa.
Very nicely say hi to me, please.
Or reach out and touch her. Now what are you looking
Actually, I got good vibes from Eliza. She's probably relieved because she was married to some whole creep. It's terrible. Okay, those are people. Wait, that's a sign. You're right.
Eliza, what do you think about everybody coming here?
Why does it pick up the signs?
And it's like, well, we need a building.
That looks like a person. What's
Oh,
happening
no,
there?
that's cool. I think it's a little. There's somebody up there dancing.
What's happening? What would that be from?
I have no idea.
It's got the 3 dots for the head and the arms and the leg, the knees
That's
and the
fun.
legs.
It's like somebody sitting up there just boogieing.
Weird. Okay, I'm gonna go a little closer to it. Let's see what that
It's
is.
not going away.
Oh my god, it's changing.
Eliza, is there something you want everyone to know?
What's gone now? Oh wait, there. It's picking up. I feel like it's getting the light pole, or I don't know.
That's
Is that what it is?
It was picking that up as the head, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's changing. Well. Okay. Let's
Eliza, what's your favorite food?
ask her if she likes to say something.
Eliza, how old were you when you died? Now it just came out and started talking about a gag order. Eliza, were you gagged? Choked?
Sorry. Did you drag everybody else along?
So Eliza, you stopped doing rice, you went for indigo. It just came saying, and I wasn't strong. I think I'm reaching for straws.
She's probably like, Jesus, these people leave me alone every night. Come out here, you want to talk to me? She's probably irritated.
Eliza, what did you think about your husband being so much older?
Remember, it's a true love story.
There's that
Don't
person.
post it there.
There's that person.
How we doing on this thing?
Well, I don't know. Looks like there's.
So that's part of the reason
Pick
why I
me
wanted
up,
to
Paul.
go straight over.
She just came and said a gag, like they just came and started talking about a gag order.
So it's not how she died, no. Not even close. Your camera
Yes.
will pick up on anything in front of something else. On a tree, all the leaves are in front of another leaf. So it's always going to make it look like a tree or a bush. With anything with foliage is going to be a ghost, like a stick man. So don't get excited if you see a stick man on a tree. 9 times out of 10, I can debunk it with a tree or a bush in the background.
Okay.
So that's why I usually say, hey, try to get that wave out of somebody or raise their, do something silly. Your shadow will also pick up. It is an absence of light. So it makes it look, from the camera's point of view, that you are in front of that wall over there, even though it's our shadow.
Okay.
So, get the point? Lots of science.
Like
guys,
it
I'm
keeps
sorry.
picking up these stairs over here too. It's like-
Well, the
we have like
stairs,
a-
yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like a cool guy sitting up here just like doing
Just
it.
chilling. It's always gonna wiggle. Yeah, it's always gonna be funny.
We can tell the sign picks it up as like heads half
Yeah.
the time. Yeah.
I also have the sensitivity turned down to about 35%. So imagine if that thing was cranked all the way up, you would literally have purple men everywhere. Yep, that's
Oh,
kind of how it goes.
okay.
What do you got going on?
919, clear as day.
919. What do you got? Anything? Have you heard anything? Nothing at all. Dude, I thought you were gonna be like superstar on this.
Oh,
Gag order.
gag order. Let's have some
that?
fun.
Nosy, N-O-S-Y.
Oh, that was you asking about how she felt about her husband. Spelled out.
Because I had to keep talking about it. It started overwriting and I was trying to.
Isn't 919 an area code in your guys' area?
919 would be in Raleigh, Durham, Fayetteville.
Okay. So. Oh, she's off wandering. Love it. Anything crazy on your cam, Bill?
Yeah.
Nothing? Have we heard anything on the spirit box?
Good.
What's that?
Good one.
Good one? Good one?
Crazy.
Crazy.
Good one? Good one? Crazy. Anything else above 50? Or, I'm sorry, over 100?
No.
It's all low.
How's that camera working out for you? I know it can be hard to see.
Yeah, but I can see pretty well.
Yeah, so basically you're a video.
Anything else? You got anything else?
Last time I was spirit box. Yeah. Yep.
So, let's do one more quick round robin. I'm going to let Helen listen in. So, great job.
It sounded like two of these folks.
Maybe we'll run into
I'm still
something.
having a good time.
Yeah, it's fun to be out. And I like to hear the stories. It's fun to have a little history. Why don't we take this to like Bald Cemetery? That's what we should do.
It's my brother that made his spirit box. He like,
How's that? Take a look at the
I don't think everybody's like, this is looking at all the habits, you know, there's nothing happening. It's like, it's so sad. We did a spirit box. And so it's like the Legion work, but we have like a class circle program also. And as we're sitting there, that's the spirit circle also there, and also
Oh, really?
our team in the CR, like shuts down, comes back up, like
Here in this
power.
apartment?
Yeah, it's like the whole room by us.
That's where I seem to get
All right,
most
this
of
is
my
all
info,
this.
right?
We
Yeah.
haven't had this
That's
that much.
interesting. Yeah. That's scary. Wow.
Maybe somebody has a ghost right next to them and they don't know it.
Yeah, we have seen somebody hanging out next to somebody.
Yeah, right. This guy doesn't owe us, so he doesn't have a.
Here, we're not trying this.
Try it. Is it working?
You're safe.
Okay.
Just checking behind you.
I'm real. Oh, God.
How funny would that
Rhonda, you got
That would be
anything else
really
crazy going on
scary.
over there?
Let's see.
Oh, there's like a robot in the back.
Okay.
You looked in the back.
No.
And have you two heard anything on your
Oh,
spirit
cute.
box yet? Nothing else extra?
Nah, it just keeps
I'd say it's time to like wrap this one up a little bit, only because of some of the terms that we have. I'll explain. So let's do a breakdown. Yeah, let's go ahead and get you back on mute. Cameras, if you want to give your hands a break, by all means.
Yeah, they were.
I mean, that's what I told him. You guys don't like them either.
Anything
And
else?
then I thought I heard something else. but I can't remember what it was.
We'll come to you.
Yeah, something about grandma.
We'll give off up to a 7. So you guys get a point on that one. So cameras, obviously you can try to get a long view, just the same way that Ryan is doing it. So he's got a nice long view, nice empty alley, so if you can get a long view. If the other groups will come through us, because again, this is a very popular area for Charleston. We'll just split the seas like what we just did. Just lower your cameras. You guys got the point. I'll make it 4 on that. What words did we get while we were chatting, by the way?
We got manipulate, apology.
Do you know where we are?
I mean, not really. Other than the markets right
Oh, this is just such a
Just got that on there.
Why are those people getting picked up?
Maybe you're doing it wrong.
I thought I just hold it up. I thought he gave me an easy one.
All right, so welcome to Philadelphia Alley. This is Philadelphia Alley, but it used to be called Jewelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. I say some because dueling was illegal, so they had to find hiding spots. What's funny is one of the phrases we heard last night on the way here was "same hiding spot." So they didn't know. They heard it along the way. That's why I have you guys listen along the way. But anyway, every ghost tour comes down here. It's kind of a staple for everybody. I'm going to give you the same story that they give, but I'm going to give you more details because you guys aren't on the cheesy campfire and marshmallow kind of ghost story, right? You're ghost hunting. You need those extra details. So let's kind of get into this. And by the way, there's a lot that goes into this. Again, we're going to stir things up and we're going to leave, and this guy's going to follow us for probably the rest of the night. He's going to go over to the next location because that's where we get most of his communication. But he also shows up at our last stop. And the reason why is because he used to live nearby that location. Again, raised emotion. You have to look at the clues of when things pop up. So if you guys will start to give me clues of him at that last stop, I'll definitely let you know if I feel like he's there. All right, so here's how it goes. Gentleman moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. The two of you with the red spirit boxes are going to listen in along the way here while we're in here, and you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl. It's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it here all the time. You're going to be looking for the initials of R.I., Rhode Island. So just kind of keep that in mind. It'll make more sense once I get into it. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She's an attorney helping her out with all of the cash flow that she just inherited, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's cash. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes down here to prove that he's not just after her money. So, there's kind of all angles tonight, just so you guys know. So on his way into town, the coachman that he had set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay here in Charleston, but somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen because he knew the coachman. But somebody walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. R.I. Ralph has the same initials as to where the doctor actually came from. That's exactly why I have the device that STACEY is using tonight. I bought it because I was getting the letters R.I. on other spirit boxes. We're going to let both of these parties pass through, and they're actually not going to.
Is there anything about a Watson?
What was it?
Watson?
Watson? No. Not to my knowledge, but we are near a cemetery, so we're supposed to creep it out. That's the problem in this location. So anyway, back to Dr. Ladd and Ralph. Now, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. I got friends there. They'll rent you a room. Be safe. Doc took him up on the offer. And now the two gentlemen are friends. So the longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money because he's making his own. Amanda gets wind of this and she's moving down soon, so they could be married. So Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor.
Oh. I guess good.
So, the Whistling Doctor. This is part of the reason why I hate this story and why I was actually going to take it out of my route this year. So, whistling ghosts are a cliche. Every haunted city you guys are ever going to visit, we all have haunted, or like whistling ghosts. So, again, ours just happens to be a doctor. Moving on. Let's talk about the duel and how that actually started. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III, they are arguing over the new actress they just saw that was here in town. Doc thought she was great, but Ralph didn't think so. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. So it got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Now, I already told you that Ralph has friends around town. He goes to the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. Let's settle this. Somebody's going to die. Came down. Ladies, pass through real quick. Hello.
Hello, sorry. Turning on R2.
Came down, back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned. The doctor points his gun in the air and shoots his one bullet. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up. Now, Ralph has his one bullet still, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, but he fell to the ground, and Ralph proved his point that he's still pissed off. Doc's friends pick him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786 after refusing medical treatment. I'm going to point out three things. I normally point out two things. First off, we heard the phrase 80s coming out of Helen's spirit box. He died in 1786, so technically it's correct. It is also 1786, and gunshot wounds back then are a lot different than what we know of them now. Why did he refuse medical treatment? He's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, because obviously he died. And every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests, listen for the whistles and see what you can capture. We have 3 cameras running right now, plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, it's going to show up on one of those 4 devices. However, the 2 other spirit boxes with the headphones, we've gotten whistling parts of songs and then the word doctor immediately after, dozens and dozens of times. So I can't say that is not a thing. I don't look for it. It happens all the time. So just kind of keep that in perspective. If you're going to try this on your own, you're going to walk all the way through here without me, obviously once we're not together, and you are going to listen for the whistles from the voice recording on your phone. Just remember, every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley every time we pass. So, I I do that since I've been thrown out of here? Let's talk about that, because that's the fun part of the story. No. It also explains why we're going to the next location that we are going to. So this alley did not always go all the way through the way we came in. There was a wall up there. The reason why is that this is where they kept the livestock in the city of Charleston. This was before Dueler's Alley. It was called Cow Alley. You often get the word cow on CJ's word list, just so you guys know, it happens all the time. Anyway, why am I telling you this? Because at the end of this alley, those bricks are older than the ones we are standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there, and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through. History lesson, nothing paranormal about it. Remember how I feel about cemeteries? That's the last place you're going to find that kid that made that handprint inside that brick down there. So, November 26th of 2020, I took my entire group down there for their history lesson, and I normally just kind of point it out and we move on. They stop, and they're waiting for something to happen with all the gear that I handed out. I'm trying to shoo them along. Guys, we got to keep going. We're standing right outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I was trying to be respectful. I didn't realize we were out of bounds for tours at that time of night. I was still new to this. So, the new owner of that mansion came out, and he was furious, and my daughter thought it was hysterical because her father's getting yelled at. She was on the tour that night. So, yeah, you're looking at me horrified. She thought it was hysterical. We moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I used to work in upper management for Walmart for over 10 years. You guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and it scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving in my life. So, the next day I called my partner. It's the 28th of November. It's the guy that brought me into tourism away from retail, and I told him what happened, like looking for advice. He's laughing just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you can't go down that far. You're only allowed to go down halfway. You got to reroute your group. Well, guess what? I'm sold out again. It's Black Friday. I told my group we got to reroute, and I don't believe in the next story because I'm into vampires, not pirates. That's obviously we're talking about pirates next, in case you haven't picked up on that. And I've never had anything happen with my gear over there. I've been there dozens of times. We'll see what happens. So before we left, somebody with a spirit box. Here's the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bond. So I was going, oh shit, maybe we're going to get something. I take them up around the corner. I told them a little bit I didn't know about piracy, and somebody else heard the number 300. I don't know what that one means. I wrote it down so I can research it. Turns out we were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary.
Wow.
Now, this is the reaction I normally get. I was pissed off. Let me explain. I already told you, first off, I was not in the pirates at the time. I am very much so now. Because I have done more research on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life. I have a master's degree in creative writing. When I'm doing anything as far as writing or researching, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy, the days of Blackbeard. So, that's a problem. That means I have to read more books to verify what you guys are finding. I've read more books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my life. I'm re-watching Black Sails. If you're not familiar with that fantastic show, it's a fantastic show. So, my wife is now watching it too. But anyway, so I've done more research on this than you guys can possibly imagine. It is a fun story, but it is a roll of the dice, and Anne Bonny will actually be at the next location. I'll explain once we get there, but we will get things from Dr. Ladd over there as well. So that's kind of the hope and figure. Now, when we get across, we're going to cut through that group. So you will kind of, like, you can be unmuted until we reach the group, mute, and then unmute again as we're walking to the next location, just so we're not interrupting that particular tour. Everybody else is definitely going to listen in. Any numbers I need to know about, Mark?
No, nothing.
DJ, any words I need to know about from you?
I don't think so. Hurt? Argument?
You heard hurt earlier. Somebody heard hurt. Okay, thank you.
An argument.
Argument. I'll take
is it Star
that one.
Trek?
Passionate argument. I mean, it's I don't usually take adjectives, but
you got a little
an
too
argument is
How salty. When you first got
I don't
here,
think that was a dig.
He wants
let's
play with the
see.
tools
I think I
too.
got about
What am I missing? You can't have this chili as I was kind of concerned about earlier.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
I was like, oh, this is...
Maybe it was the whiskey that, or
That's
the
what it
bourbon
was,
that
see?
warmed us up a little bit. The building is kind of creepy looking. Crosses on it.
came from. All right, so where was I?
29 mean anything?
What's that?
29? That was back earlier.
Possibly. Remind me to write that one down. I'm not real positive or sure of it. So I think we have to take a step backwards to Ireland for just a second, just to kind of give you Anne Bonny's mentality. They say when Anne was a child, 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is exact, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Again, just like to give you her mentality as we kind of move forward. So fast forward, the building is done in 1713. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. She's going to fall in love with one of these dudes so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. So it's a man's world. First guy she falls in love with. I say first because there's a lot. We're going to talk about all of them. That's kind of what makes the damn story. The first guy is James Bonny. You already know where this one's going, right? So Dad didn't approve because he's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica and got married. Anne Cormac is now Anne Bonny. That's where the name came from. When they get down there, she realizes her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. That makes him a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. I'll keep tally. Guy number 2 is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. For those of you that have watched Black Sails, that is the guy with the really thin, skinny mustache. He owns the brothel, if that makes sense. Yeah, you guys got that point now. I said brothel, and all the guys were like, yep, remember that one. But anyway, so Calico Jack has his own ship, and he has his own crew. So Anne wants to be part of that crew. You can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know the real reason why?
I just heard it was unlucky.
It's bad luck. Very good. Thank you for keeping it family friendly. I get some really raunchy answers to that one. By the way, Calico Jack is the real person that they based your Johnny Depp character off of. So just kind of keep that in the back of your brain.
Cool.
Now, it is bad luck, so he makes a deal with Anne. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. So she agrees. But we're all adults here, put 2 and 2 together. She is a female in his quarters. She is eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant dude on the crew. Like somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl, and then they'll get rid of Jack as captain. They'll vote him off. So before she starts to show her pregnancy, he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby here with these friends of mine. They'll help you out and come back later. We'll figure it out then. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. None of my research has ever found it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. Now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. To make him even more angry, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. Did everybody get all that? Because that one's a long one. So now we have 2 females dressed like male pirates. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Now, Anne and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure because of obviously the time frame. But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of Navy ships to come take down one measly little pirate ship. Rumor is Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks. They don't know how to use cannon jets. They haven't been pirates for very long. Now, 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns obviously can't take on a whole fleet of Navy ships with cannons. They're going to get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain in bow, Jack, and says, sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up a lot for us here in our communication devices. Now, the judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly on their own. So he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. They scream out to the judge, we plead our bellies, which means they're claiming to be pregnant. You can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He brings Anne home after he bails her out, and she remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary because we're not really sure. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know anything truthful about her after her pirate career. It's all for speculative fiction. You take
We
it
know
for-
little about her.
Exactly. We do. You got the word little. Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books tell you it was fever. I say let's make it romantic. Call it scurvy. Why the hell not? So I'm not going to control this environment like what I did at the Pinckney Mansion site. We're not talking about a very prominent English woman kind of mentality. We're talking about a kick-ass female pirate. I say normally if you smoke tobacco and you brought a bottle of rum, have a good time. You'll probably attract her over to you. Of course, all the crazy, it is going to try to scare you every once in a while. It said help me, yeah. Yeah, you guys see me roll my eyes like real fast on that one. So here's the things I left out of the story, just so you guys have a few things to work off of. You can ask whatever the hell you want to here, but I did leave out the names of the parents. That's the father and the mistress. I will tell you that both names of the parents showed up on STACEY's device last night. So can't make this stuff up. It happens. Yeah. So we did get both names there. What else did I forget? Oh, the name of the city that Anne grew up in, Ireland. So again, very specific city that she grew up in. The name of the Calico Jack ship that she joined, and the color of Anne Bonny's hair. Everything else is fair game. Ask whatever the hell you want to. So that's kind of how the mentality of this. So Lisa, with yours, this wall behind me is not your friend because it's covered in leaves. It's going to look like a whole bunch of army men just lined up ready to shoot. So kind of keep that in mind.
Let's try it.
There's a ton of them.
Everywhere.
I am actually happy if we get a 2.5 in here.
Yeah, I'm getting nothing, zero.
So we actually got a little bit of, I think we had like a 3.2 or something here last night, so I was actually pretty excited about that. We are going to get you unmuted. Let's just stay away from the vehicles. Remember, the building is what's going to be familiar to Anne, but the closer you get up that way, the more, you got parking meters and two electrical poles that are going to influence. You got it. Oh, we're switching it up. I love it. All right, so let's get those cameras running if you haven't already, and let's get to work. You guys know what the hell you're doing.
You get the name Deborah? Is there Deborah anywhere?
I gotten that here before. It's been a while. I just don't know who it is. Again, could be bleed over. There's a cemetery right behind us. Oh, right behind me. So could be bleed over from them. Who knows? Again, me going through records without a last name.
Baby.
No. All that. We're gonna see if something else pops up. That's a whole nother ballgame. Wow. We're a lot different this time around. You're actually getting to hear things.
Yeah, I did want to tell you though, I was listening through ours like a month ago, and then like a whole month happened, and I listened through all because I moved out here.
Yeah, that's right.
But when you said you got the so you know that we're going to do it, you listen,
Yours was back to back. I was trying to remember. I was actually supposed to go back because I had kind of lost the show. Because remember, I don't listen to the audio on the cameras, so it eluded me as I was working on it. And then
Doesn't stand anything long enough for me to hear the whole
Yeah,
word.
even when the word comes in, I'm like, okay, I can't pick it up or.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go back and look at it. Now that I remember the date. Cool. Because you guys actually, my birthday was 2 days later.
Oh, okay.
So that was easy. Like, oh, they were there for my birthday. So cool. Probably in a good mood that night. I was trying to check out your tats, by the way. Like, what's with the compass? Is that anything? Is it just?
So I was born right here on the coast of North Carolina.
Okay.
Cape Hatteras. Or not Cape Hatteras, but near the Outer
I
Banks.
happened to notice all of this stuff as I was telling the story of pirates, and he's got the ships and there's the compass.
It just goes up
Nice.
coastal, so I've got like the octopus that comes up and jellyfish,
Cool.
all that stuff.
Very cool.
Yep.
You're upside down, by the way. There you go.
So what's the like? Have you had anything that's like you've been out here and you've just been like, okay, that's throwing you back for a loop?
I have stuff where we have direct reactions.
Really?
Yes.
Like a poltergeist type thing, or like just?
Well, it's a
Jekyll
person
Pie,
just
or-
standing there. It's, I mean, obviously, if I can get them to react the way I want them to
Oh,
react.
like where you're saying like lift the foot and all that stuff.
lift the foot, like move to the left, that kind of shit. Like we had a 8-minute interaction from somebody else's SLS camera, so I went ahead and got this one. I talked to the developers of the app just to make sure I knew what the hell I was looking at,
Yeah.
and got a full understanding of how it works. And the Apple's LiDAR technology is what we're using. That's why it's on an iPad. So it works just as well as an Xbox 360 camera, which is what they make the other ones out of, the big chunky ones from the shows. This way it's just portable. I just have to turn the sensitivity down.
So obviously with it, I mean, like you said earlier, skeptics coming in. So when you see this and as much stuff as you find, what do you think is like your main hindrance into like mainstream buying into like afterlife or supernatural, or that it's here?
Like
it
somebody
seems
would,
like-
somebody would have a hard
Like
time.
why the scientific community hasn't really grasped onto it, or why it seems to be.
I still don't feel like we have enough of a concrete, full-blown conversation with somebody on the other side,
Okay.
as concrete proof.
Yeah, that's
like
yeah.
that's hopefully.
But
with
you would
the,
think it'd be like scattered together. If they found enough evidence, you would think it'd be like sooner or later somebody's like,
You have to
"All right, let's
imagine,
just
like I
do
hit the
this."
same 4 to 5 spots on a nightly basis. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes like we might have a scatter depending on what's being heard, because somebody has one term right now that's not relevant to where we are. It's
Right.
relevant to something across the street. So I'm going to wait to see if we get 2 or 3 other things around that, and then
Yeah.
kind of tell that tale. But at the same time, these same 4 or 5 spots that I visit on a nightly basis, I could write a book on every one of them with all of the evidence that I have from every single location.
Yeah.
There's patterns, and you can look at the dates of the heightened emotions, like birthdays and weddings and deaths,
Yeah.
and all this kind of things. I'm like, that's when we get these things. That's when we get those things. The moon phases on this
Especially
account.
when you didn't know it prior, yeah.
Correct. So again, it's the dates, all of these things matter. K-index is something I'm studying right now just to see if it has a full effect on EMF readings.
K-index?
Solar flares.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to see that at the top of your report. I do take an average of the 2.5 hours that we're together.
Yeah.
So if it's like a 2, 2, and 2, obviously the average is going to be a 2 for the entire duration. But
Right.
then I actually, if it's not all averages like that, I literally do the math real quick. Like tonight is like a 2.7.
Okay.
So again, that's still on the...
What's it going to throw off? Where's it going to
Right.
hit? Yeah.
Yeah. So like last night, we had all of these crazy EMF readings, and we had a low K-index. So it was only at a 2.
Right.
And the scale only goes to 8.
Which by that you would have said, yeah, lower.
Yeah,
for
but we had
expectations.
triple digits, just like what Mark found earlier. Tonight we're at a 2.7. I would expect those triple digit numbers to be that steady if we had like a 6 or higher.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm like, does it truly have an effect? But that's where I put all the charts together at the end of the year and look at it as a whole and say, okay, K-index just doesn't do shit. Doesn't mean anything. The same thing with the moon phases. Full moons don't mean shit. It's where
See, I was going to ask if, yeah,
it's where the moon is in orbit. So it has nothing to do with the phase of it. It's a matter of like, is the moon closer to us on Earth? Because it doesn't go in a full circle. It's not a perfect circle. It's an oval. So at its peak away from us, which is apicy, then we need it to be in
So
perigee.
essentially not how much light's on the damn thing, but how
Got
much
it.
the gravitational pull is being reacted
Perfect.
to. Yeah.
You got it. See, I told you, I do extra study. I know what I'm talking about.
Really?
You getting the gist of that? It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if I have the patience for it.
Yeah.
It's not
I just do it every day.
I picked up some Paula Abdul on there, but I don't know if that.
What did she sing?
I don't know.
Was it straight up not telling me, or was it something a little bit more recent?
I don't know.
Couldn't tell me? Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. Believe it or not, guys are actually better at this.
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that because we all have selective hearing, but you're going to see at the next location what I'm going to do to him at the next stop. Like, you're going to see how good he is at this.
Okay.
I just thought of a bad joke. It's because we're used to tuning out the.
Yeah, it's because we have this.
We can pick out the word.
I got the most important
That's it.
words.
Oh, I tuned out the rest, but we got that. That's my first one. We first got married. Her English was terrible, so we just always spoke in English or Japanese. And then people were asking her, like, after I got married, it got to the point she just sit there talking to me, and I would tune it out. And people say, I was like, yeah, but it's horrible because she's talking to me in Japanese. I'm watching the thing in English. I said, it's just so easy.
Yeah.
But then I got to the point, like, I could tune her out, and I'd still pick up, like, a Japanese word. Like, okay, yeah, here you go. Like, yeah, I just feel like I'm just, like, listen to the previous stuff.
I hear a good song, like, okay, let's stop. Listen to that song. Stop. When I first moved here, I did a tour of my mom. That was really cool. And they had it decorated, as if it were original. And
Oh, now the ghost.
not a ghost tour. It was like a
Oh,
tour,
I'm like-
just a home.
You
I don't know what the name of that house. But it said the old slaves quarters near that. And the history behind it.
Have you been to the club?
I have. Yeah, that's cool.
Now when I look, now that I figured out my pass, because first time I looked, there was like $35.
Oh yeah.
Like you hit it, but the pass you just go in.
Yeah, you're
you
right.
take like 4 people in. And, yeah, it's great. So I got a little motorcycle, like a little scooter, and I went and drove through there. The whole time I said, I gotta come back here and walk. Like just car parking area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was out just wasting time. Just
Yeah.
getting out. But the bad thing is now, since Sierra's accident, I haven't because like we flipped, I had no picking up off of it. Like it's contact. I don't care if I don't have time. Like what if I couldn't have? What if I would have been there? Like it also just really quick how it just goes south.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so all I gotta do is be on a bike, and again, not my fault.
Right.
And I know they take care of her. I mean, I'm not even in a situation where somebody can sit there. She can't cook for herself right now, barely. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, she can't take care of me. I keep it. So now I'm actually like, and when I got it, I was like, I'll keep this thing forever, just drive it. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna sell the damn bike. It's
Right.
I mean, and even if you're doing all the, but I'm like, driving defensively, just take control.
it is. And then the other thing, and I've almost been hit about 3 times on it. And it's just, and to me, it's just like a brownie cake. You see it coming, so it's not a big deal. I'm like, I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, but you're talking about going towards the house. Do you know what's Bridgerton's?
The show?
Yeah,
I've
you
never
like that?
watched that.
Never watched that?
No. I don't know. Everyone says it's great. I should watch it. I should give it a chance.
It's a chick
Is it
flick.
good? Yeah.
But I love period pieces like Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
I love Pride and Prejudice. But like Bridgerton's, it's a great series, and then how they like did the intermix of the races, and like how much doesn't exist through it. And then it actually touched on it at one point, but instead of making it about a race, it was about some social issue, but they brought it all back in. But it's a fun show. Yeah. And then like the very first one. Yeah, the first series. The guy's very attractive.
Maybe I'll check it out.
He's very cute guy. I was like, yeah, I'd probably kiss on him a little bit.
If I saw something in here, I think I'd panic.
I feel like I'm letting down because I haven't got it.
I'm like, that's the thing. I don't
got
think
Southern
ghosts.
hospitality.
I think ghosts don't like me because I'm not enough of a believer.
So you don't know about Aunt Bonnie?
I don't know. I've heard the name before, but I don't really know.
There's actually all the Charter Grill stuff. There's actually like a Savage store called Aunt
Nathan and
Bonnie.
Lisa, did you guys get anything?
But
No.
Nothing crazy?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. I say we call this one a wrap. Kind of show you what we're going to be doing next. Yeah. Let's go grab CJ and let's bring him back here. Let's kind of do it back here. I might stay with maybe a little more. And no readings at all. Right?
Yeah, 0.1, that was it.
Yeah, we had little ones show up here last night. I think it was like a 3.2 and a 4.4 or something.
Yeah.
Just little guys. And I was actually excited. Like, that's exciting
Yeah.
here. Because we don't normally see anything.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
definitely not the Pimpy Mansion scene.
Right, not at all.
so if you're walking out of the house and you've already grabbed one tool, what do you do?
What's in your hand?
This?
Yep. Or if the wife says no tools on a vacation, I still have my phone. And I test a lot of apps. I know what works, I know what doesn't. So
I can tell she doesn't get mad at you very often.
she understands. Look, you have to understand. Let me kind of put things in perspective. First off, my wife is handicapped, so she wears braces to walk. So we always make the joke that she's never leaving me because she can't run that fast. So the second thing is that she's going to school to be a vet. So it is always dogs or ghosts. That is what the dinner conversation is. It's never a combination, unless of course she had a euthanasia that day at the vet office. So because she does work at a vet office and going to school to become a vet. So it is always dogs and ghosts with us. But again, it's always a conversation of like what's happening with the equipment, and then if it's her first set of degrees are in photography and graphic design, which is she does all my book covers. I think I mentioned to somebody that I'm waiting on her to finish my damn cover already, for this latest book. But she's so busy with her DVM stuff and getting that stuff wrapped up that she's very busy. But as far as the wife goes, there are vacations where she says no gear. Let's just go have a few nice dinners. Let's go take a few, tours, like ghost tours. And she's like, no, ghost tours. So it just depends. All right. So, by the way, the next location is going to be completely different from what we have been doing. So it is going to be the Estes method. You guys, anybody not familiar with this? You guys have no idea what the hell you signed up for. I know that you guys kind of tested it out a little bit. We're gonna get, you're gonna be able to get to see how everything's going. However, you are using the one camera that's gonna give everybody the greatest footage. So you're not gonna be part of it, other than being the perfect videographer, so they get to watch it later. I'm gonna take Nathan, Helen, and Rhonda, and you guys are gonna be part of the experiment. So two of you, because you've been using spirit boxes all night long, you're gonna be sitting on a bench wearing a blindfold. And basically, I'm going to talk to the two of you as if you're the ghost, and you're not going to know the history or who the hell I'm looking for. So you're going to be kind of in that party. And I'll keep you guys under, and I'll give you all the great details once we get there. But basically, you're going to be channeling the ghost through your spirit boxes and answering the questions, because your spirit boxes will be loud enough where you cannot hear me. Rhonda, is going to be wearing a virtual reality cam sitting next to the two of you. And that virtual reality cam is going to provide images from artificial intelligence based off of the EMF readings around us. The images are complementary to hopefully what will look like a conversation between me and these two. So it is a very interesting type of experiment when I have three of you doing it. It can either run super silly, where you two are just giving me crazy answers, and then we, obviously get some weird pictures out of this thing for sure. The images are about 45% accurate to the ghost we will be hunting down. What you two will be doing, the reason why I have two of you do it, is because it's a 1 in 3 chance we're going to have a decent session. So if I put two of you on it, then we have a much better chance. So one of you will be answering one thing, and sometimes you guys go back and forth, almost like you're almost talking to each other, and you don't know it. It's very interesting. I don't tell you guys the history tonight. You're going to have to wait for your audio, or obviously from any of the camera work that we will be doing. So when we get to the next location, I'll take your spirit box. But anyway, just so you guys know, the rest of you are going to know the history, all 6 of you. I'm going to take you to like 15, 20 feet away and teach you who we're going to be talking to. So that way you guys get to watch it unfold. It's these 3 that are going to remain in the dark. That's the fun part of this whole experiment. So are you down for this? Cool. He's like, I'm down.
Absolutely.
And she's like, oh yeah, I'm all about it. So
I'm getting nothing.
it was more. I think it was like a 160. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was crazy.
Wow.
All right, so everybody's going to have their role when we get over there. So when we get over there, those of you that are left with communication devices, so that would be STACEY and CJ, in the event that I'm not getting answers from them, the answers might come to your 2 devices. You did it again, trying to blind me. Oh, he's got it now. I love it. You guys are trained, definitely hired for later. So actually all 3 cameras, so the 2 of you can move anywhere you want to. Obviously you're probably going to want to watch this, but unfortunately for yours, it does give us the clear shot with no purple stickmen and weird, blobs of color on there. So you're going to just stay fixed on them the entire time.
Okay.
But the 2 of you, if you kind of like want to turn and do 360s to kind of see if we're getting anything, we've gotten things from all 3 cameras at this location. So unfortunately yours is just like basically a good videographer.
That's fine.
So the first time I came in here, I didn't know what to expect. All the other ghost tours come here for some odd reason, but I didn't know why. However, even my why is not their why. So the first time I came in here was in November, right after Halloween, and everybody canceled. There was only 2 people. So I told that person, just tell me whatever you hear, because I don't even know who the hell we're looking for. What that person heard was the year 1828 and the name Henry. I was using CJ's word list that night, like I normally do when I only have 2 people, and the name Tim showed up on there. The bust right here behind me is Henry Timrod. He was born in 1828. And it was like, I shit you not, I can't make this stuff up, and damn right, there's my ghost. I knew a little bit about him, but here's what you'll need to know going into this experiment. So the guy was 6. All right, so we're going to circle around nice and tight, just so you guys know I don't like the other tours if they're walking in and say, what the hell is Nick up to now? I'm just going to kind of hide what's going on here. So the 2 of you, obviously, are going to be blindfolded. You're not going to be able to hear me. You're going to be telling me everything you're hearing in real time. Now, your family members, in the event you're talking too loud, because we do have neighbors and I try not to anger anybody, they're going to tap you on the shoulder, quiet down a little bit. If we can't hear you, they may lift up your earmuff and just say the word louder. Speak up a little bit. When we're done, because I'm only going to keep you guys under for 10 minutes, they're going to tap you on the leg, take off your own gear. I will never touch you. You will be able to hear me. So again, that's why I'm not giving you these specific directions. So did you guys figure out your blindfolds?
Oh, yeah.
Are they Batman masks or are they full around your head?
Oh, we're going to go rob banks.
They should rip in the center, so that way it's a Batman mask. Okay, or you can do it that way, whatever makes you comfortable. All right, so with your images, have you ever done virtual reality before?
No. Well, I mean, a little bit. They've got a game.
Okay,
they play.
exactly. So this is not going to be Jurassic Park coming down to eat you kind of stuff. Okay, so you're going to
Good.
see a galaxy off in the distance, and then every once in a while a picture will show up in front of the galaxy. It's going to be like moving stars. I put that in there so you don't fall asleep.
Okay.
So whatever the picture is, just keep it nice and brief. So if it's 3 people on a bench with a tree, 3 people bench tree. If they're not saying much, I may ask you probing questions. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. Like what are the people wearing? What's the time period look like? That kind of thing. So that way and everybody will be able to see all of these images once we're done with the experiment. When we're done, obviously you guys get to tap on the leg. I'll say peel that thing off your face. Nobody get up. I don't like baby giraffes to fall on the ground if we've been in the dark for 10 minutes. Let's see. So as soon as you guys are ready, I will start the timer. So go ahead and blindfolds down, spirit boxes up, and try not to mess with your volume. I'll test constantly to make sure you're not cheating. I've had people try to cheat, believe it or not. And I will get you your thing once I get it set up for you, since you haven't done this before. Nathan, you need to have both ears covered. There you go. I know it sucks. What color is a blue banana? Perfect. Henry Timrod. Got some folks here that want to talk to you. So if you could please push forward and give us something about your occupation, please, to let us know that you're here. All you're gonna do is look straight ahead, and it will line up with you. You won't need to move around or anything. Then your focus, in case it's blurry in there, is right here. So turn that in case it's blurry.
Other guy.
What other guy is here? Did you bring Dr. Ladd with you too? Henry? Henry, this is Ellen, Nathan, and Rhonda. Rhonda can see whatever you want us to see. The other two folks can hear whatever you want us to hear.
There's an old face.
Okay?
It's just kind of squinting.
What time period? Can you guess?
I can't really tell because it's basically just a head
Okay.
with the face almost looks mad.
He's not always happy I'm here to see you, so. He doesn't like me poking around like this all the time. Henry, did you bring somebody else here with you?
It literally just about smiled.
It's always going to look like it's moving a little bit. We'll see what it actually ended up with.
Okay.
Lisa, can you do me a favor and remind him that he's supposed to tell us what he's hearing? And just like lift up his earmuff and just say, hey, can you tell us what you got?
You can tell us what you're hearing.
Okay.
So we've been under, we'll just say about a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes at this point. Henry, thanks for the image. I'm not sure what's going on in there until I take a look at it. But we need to verify that you're here. Tell us about your occupation. What'd you do for a living?
Great track record.
Henry, do you need me to show a little appreciation?
I'm still seeing the face. It's almost like he's trying to go home.
Usually the word home for Henry means he wants us to leave. We're not leaving, Henry. That face hasn't left yet?
No.
That's weird that it's staying up there for that long period of time.
Being lonely, friends.
And we did get the word careful on CJ's face. Just so you guys know.
Okay, now it looks like somebody's doing this. Like looking.
Wow. You haven't seen the galaxy yet at all?
I mean, I see a galaxy, but this is just kind of what looks like it's popping up. And now,
077.
7-7 is actually relevant. It's Dr. Ladd's birthday. You guys remember I told you Dr. Ladd may show up at our last location? At first she said the other guy. Now he says 077.
Let's try a little bit harder.
What did she just say?
it looks like there's a bunch of people now.
What's her description? It's out here.
Can't help it.
Henry, who else came here with you today? If you're not Henry Tim,
Probably.
can you tell us your first name, please?
Oh, that one's a scary lady.
You're getting all kinds of things on. What's a scary lady look like? You talking fangs and vampire stuff, or
Really old and
1887.
wrinkly with white hair.
1887?
Picks you up, let you down.
Cameron died in 1869, if I'm not mistaken.
It's just faces.
Just weird, isn't it? Henry, we don't understand what these images are and why the box is reacting that way. Normally, you'll get an image and it'll dissipate. You see the galaxy for a minute or two, you'll get another image. And it'll just pulse back and forth like that. It feels like we're getting a bunch of images one after another. That's weird. Henry, back to you, sir. Did Dr. Ladd come here with you? That's a yes no question.
Well, this looks like there's a building on fire somewhere.
I can't wait to see these images, but she's getting it. going on with that box over there?
Tell me how you convey.
Henry, we need more things to verify that you're here. None of the images make sense to me.
There you go.
Tell me about what you did for work. What are you known for?
Well, that's kind of creepy. That looks like a cow, but it looks like a devil cow.
Devil cow.
Okay, I am not.
Are you sure she's not a bull with horns?
That. That's just.
Any of your gods?
Any of the gods. That's what you just said. That's weird.
Now I'm on a street with buildings. It looks like, and they're on fire
Henry,
all around.
what's going on with the images, Henry? Wow, they're like super silent. This is freaking me out a little bit. What's the words going on?
Supermarket president.
Do you, no, but you know where you're at? In Washington Park. That's George over there. We get things relevant to George, even just his first name. We'll get GW.
We also got unlike. Right after careful was unlike.
Henry, none of this makes sense, sir. Wow. Like, Helen's in a trance.
Yeah.
Those who
Listen.
qualified.
Henry Timrod, you need to tell us what you're known for.
Scaring the crap out of people, apparently.
Henry, what's the sound out of the church we're getting right now? What are we getting? What's the sound? You can show us a picture of it. You can tell us through one of the folks listening to you, or we're using two other devices that you're familiar with too. The two boxes over here with the lights on them. Mark, any readings at all?
No.
What was the sound that came out of the church? Still looking
Bad.
for verification that you're here.
Good candidate.
Lots of presidential things.
Yeah.
She said Clinton earlier.
Yeah.
Henry, we're running out of time. We're down to about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Yes,
Best pictures in the world.
best pictures in the world. Maybe that's what Rhonda's seeing over there. Things on fire, goofy faces, and a scary cow.
Virtual.
Virtual. Henry,
Reparations.
Who are you?
you know damn well who I am. I'm here every night. I don't normally have to get nasty.
Waking up tomorrow.
I better be waking up tomorrow.
Right.
Another version.
Henry. If you'd like us to leave, can you give us the code word? Dr. Ladd, you can give us your code word just to let us know your presence. By the way, Dr. Ladd's code word is the word purple. So if the word purple comes out of here, it kind of gives me a verification that the doc is here. Kind of
Who you like?
people you like.
Because of two countries.
The Bible.
Oh, they're here. Henry, we're going to wrap it up if you're not going to give us anything. You need to tell us what you did for a living. Just a little verification that you're here. We don't need to have a full-blown
Now you start pitching.
conversation like we've had in the past. Just a little verification. Just show these folks you're here.
Fevers, chills.
Did you have that
Daughter.
when you were sick? Henry, last chance.
Sky above.
Give me the answer to what we heard from the church or your occupation.
Find them.
Find them. Timrod going once. Going twice. Alright, family members, let's tap them out. Rhonda, go ahead and fill it off. off your face. I am dying to see your scroll of pictures that
I mean,
you had
it
going
could
on
be
in there.
my imagination, but I swear it was more faces. Like, it's almost like they were just trying to.
I'm dying to see this. There is nothing there. There's an empty gallery. Everything you just saw did not save. It's empty. Like normally I can go straight to this and they come right up. And I'm able to like scroll through them and show you guys what happened.
Did I mess it up somehow?
You. Again, you have to sometimes look at the oddity things that do occur as well. Now granted, we're working with electronics. Could something have occurred? Could have. Have I seen this before? I've seen where we were missing like one picture, but we've also seen where we were added like 3 pictures that the viewer never even saw. So, could have been something? It's a possibility.
I mean, they all looked mad though.
Mad cows?
Did. No, just the one mad looking cow, but the faces looked mad.
What the hell were you doing when I had blindfolds on?
All kinds of images coming through.
And then
Apparently
people
everybody's
like,
passing around something I didn't get to take.
Yeah, right.
So
it's that
I would,
little bit of acid
That's
you
how I'm
slipped me.
going.
You guys didn't see that?
The mushroom
20
pizza?
bucks
Yeah.
a roll, drop of something. I
He
would
said,
call
"This
it
is
what
what
you
you're gonna
guys
see."
did was completely unsuccessful. Now, did we have a couple of things that popped up with CJ's device where like were questionable? At first you said the other guy, and then you said about a minute or two later 077. The other guy that's normally showing up here is Dr. Ladd, if you remember me telling you that earlier. His birthday is July 7th, 7-7. We normally get the double sevens over by the alley, but the other guy in 7-7 kind of leads me to believe we had a little something going on here. So with your spirit box, remember how you accidentally shut it off before? Do it now, so that way we know that the last 10 minutes, or 11 minutes at this point, came from this session. Yep, just flip that switch the opposite way. Perfect. So at this point, we had no readings coming out of this, which was weird, opposite from last night. Bless you. We did have at one point saying believe him, and you said something about like not waking up tomorrow or something, and then he
And
had
then the last two were it was believe him, and then and then Jesus.
and then you were I think you said Bible towards the end there
Yeah.
too.
The Bible, yeah.
See, mad cow.
It all goes together.
I and your Jesus were the last
So
two.
overall, I would say like it's almost slightly successful, but at this point, I have to count it as not. I'm sure you guys can appreciate my honesty of like, hey, we didn't really have much going on. So I think the best amount of stuff we even had going on was probably at the Pinky Mansion, and that was mainly from the EMF readings that we were getting over there. I'm hoping that we just missed a lot of things in real time from some of your devices. So when I go back through your devices, when I get back to the office, you'll see how this goes. So is everybody feeling okay? Obviously Nathan's fine. He's like ready to go for a jog. So I'm either going to have you get up or slide down so I can put my bag up and start collecting the gear. You guys can ask me a million more questions. I think you guys actually asked me about a million. This camera, it shows you what to look for with actual paranormal evidence. So that way you know exactly what you're looking at.